based on your own knowledge of the party and the politics at play, what is the reasoning behind this decision for the flag bearership to be organized before elections of the national executives, regional executives, constituency executives of the party?
Thank you very much. I'm going to make my substantive presentation, and I promise you that I won't call anybody's name, and then I won't refer to anybody. I want to just do that straight and go. But okay, I'll leave the rest to the viewers. Sometimes organizations or institutions create problems, go out looking for solutions. Or sometimes you have solutions, go out looking for problems. Any political party that has come out from an election, even if you win, you have to do some amount of soul searching within yourselves. And that soul searching leads you to try to find out how you move forward. You've been in power for 8 years, and you've come in. A lot might have happened, some good, some bad. Soul searching is a very, very important thing. I have been in a position where I've consumed a lot of information, some of it very public, by Musa Dankwa et al., by Africa Policy Lens, by Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy. A lot of them have published public research on what happened to the NPP post-elections. So a lot of this data. Now, I've read and I've consumed all of that, but I've not read and I've not consumed the Professor Mike Okwe's report, because that one I think is privileged. And all this gamut of information, I want to believe that the New Patriotic Party too has read all these things. I want to believe that they've also consumed this information. And I want to believe that these decisions they are coming to make as a response to this data. So one, I don't want to believe that they are making this decision in a blue. I want to believe that there's data to support this decision. There's data to show that, yes, some decisions have to be made. Secondly, the biggest problem any institution has is to have the idea that you don't have a substantive leader going forward. Critically, during these times and per the NPP's constitution, the national chairman should be leading the party by now. But we've had information. The national chairman is indisposed from what his family says, not there. So that falls to the second in that family. Now, that creates a very serious problem for the national, for the party. So again, you identify another problem you have. First is the data that you have coming out of the press, Secondly is the data that the current situation, whereby you realize that even your national chairman, people there have a problem, then you need to address that. Third is the issue that now who speaks for the NPP? The majority leader in parliament and the minority leader are doing their best. They are talking, but as a party, how do you talk to them? And that is where I think that the NPP has realized to identify a window of opportunity. And a policy window for that matter. And that window is this. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will retire. After this, he's not going again. It means that the NDC has to look for somebody to go with him. They have to do that. And depending upon when they decide to do it, the moment that is open, there's always a sense in politics that the moment there's a flag bearership race to replace an incumbent, power is seen to have shifted or to be shifting away from the incumbent to the... That's where the Americans have a term for it called lame duck. So that's when you become a lame duck. So the NPP realizes that right now, of course, you are in government in power, you have power, you can control all avenues of communication, you determine the agenda, you determine the headlines, and that. How can the NPP position itself at the plane to be able to deal with this? And that is why I think they have gone. Political parties all over the world are vulnerable, are the most vulnerable when they are dealing with internal elections. All political parties. In fact, as any families, ordinary families realize that the moment there's a fight inside the family, you have a problem. Political parties are most vulnerable. And there's data to also show that the NPP's internal elections also had a negative effect on them. That it did affect them somewhat. For instance, there were statements made by some key leading members that were later used in arts and other things to affect them. So it makes sense, therefore, for the party to say, let's close our ranks. Let's come early enough so that we can have a leader. One, that leader can then be in a position to begin to repair some of these wounds. That leader can then have enough time, one, to take the case to the ruling government, to prosecute the case against the ruling government, and then to also try to bring us together. Because without a leader, it becomes difficult for these things to happen. And that is the opportunity I've seen. Secondly, when the NDC also starts to do their primaries, we are going to see that this will come. The NPP doesn't want to wait for that. So they want to be ready so that they will have enough time as an opposition party to deal with their internal wranglings and to get this done. So I think that it is an important factor that the party has looked at and they are trying to move forward. One of the things that really excites me is the fact that the party has decided to go back to the grassroots and to let the grassroots decide. The National Council just decided this. The delegates will go to the grassroots. Sometimes I've heard somebody say this is a top-down decision. I'm like, I don't understand what is a top-down decision. The smallest nucleus of the NPP per their constitution is the polling station executives. There's no other executive or below the polling station. It's as grassroots as possible. In fact, the polling station executives are the grass and their roots. So, one, if you are taking a decision away from the special delegates, because those are polling station executives, if you are taking a decision away from them and you are giving a decision to polling station executives, you are going down to the grassroots. That's not top down. If you are taking a decision from a special group of people, let's say regional executives, constituency chairman, and you are saying that I'm going to give it to polling station executives, that is a grassroots decision. So again, I hope that by giving this decision to the grassroots, who are them in a better position to decide? Because remember, at the end of the day, it is these polling station executives who have to go out there, campaign, and protect the ballot box for you. So I see it as a grassroots decision. There's also the issue of what? Funding, that I think that any political party will have to deal with. Or resource allocation, and how to deal with resources. It then also says that, look, if you extend a voting period for so long, then expenses may come inside. That may be too expensive, or that may make it difficult. So I think that it's fair to then say that having consumed all this information and data, the NPP has been able to sit down and say, look, let's do this now. And I think that it's a good decision to come out with a leader now, so that that leader can now begin to heal the party. If you want to lead the party, you should be able to heal the party. If you want to lead the party, you should be able to go down to the grassroots and say, give an opportunity. And I think that if you have the opportunity and have 3 years, you should be able to do that.
Have you heard someone say that this is a plan to, as it were, just favor a particular individual and also created that grounds for that individual to lead the party? How do you respond to that?
Well, the data or the information out there doesn't support that theory.
Why?
These same people, you are going to the polling station executives, they're already there in place. And these same polling station executives actually had a chance in this decision. Remember, they were the same polling station executives who voted in the last primaries. It's the same people. They voted. Everybody has seen them. And they have been in power for about 4 years now, so they are not new. So it's not as if somebody got up one day, manufactured polling station executives, came with them, or used a back door or even a front door to now bring polling station executives and say, vote for them. No, that's not happened. They are there. They are the same polling station executives. And throughout the elections and post-elections, all those who are claiming to lead the party, they have been engaging these polling station executives. They are not new. They have not been created. Secondly, polling station executives are not nominated by the president or anybody else. They are nominated by people in their same community. So they are as grassroots as they are. It's the same people who were there, and it's the same people that have had a say in earlier primaries, and that are given a chance to have the same seat.
See, but you see, and still staying on it, because you talk about the grassroots position, it is a neck that met. And the neck says, this is what we are going to do. And there's going to be a delegates conference then for some sort of engagement. The position of Boachi Jaku, who contested the elections last year, is that he described this as nonsense. Because in his view, how do you elect a flag bearer before going to elect national executives and constituency executives of the party? It then gives the person, that individual is going to be elected, a certain power to influence the process of electing the national and regional constituency executives to necessarily be loyal to him. And that is not democracy, he says. Is that a position you support?
I don't want to be responding to individuals. I just want to say that the NPP has a constitution. So the first question is what they are planning to do. Is it constitutional? Is it legal? Is it
is this constitution? Is it legal?
Yes, is it constitutional? Based on the NPP constitution, does the NEC has the power to do this?
Is it democratic?
Secondly, no, we have to answer the first question. The first question is, does the NEC have the power to do it? If they do, yes, then it's legal. Secondly, is it constitutional? yes, you are still giving the decision to grassroots members. You are still saying that the very people at the grassroots will make the decision. So nobody's imposing a decision on them. I don't see what's the position. NEC hasn't said that, oh, let's not nominate, let's just take one person. No. NEC is saying, let's go down to the album, the same albums that we had the last time, we use the same album to elect. That is still democracy. That is, in fact, that's very democratic. You see, in fact, the good thing is that you are taking the decision from a very few people, a very few couple of hundreds, and you are giving it to thousands and thousands of people from every corner, every nook, every cranny of this country to make that decision. That is as democratic as it's supposed to be. Because look, if you go, special delegates that I have, in Upper West Region, for instance, the special delegates, they are less than 50 or so, they are about 100. Between 100 and 50 days. But if you are going to go to polling station executives, that is huge. So again, my point is that once you are taking it to the very base, the grassroots of the party, is as democratic as legal as it is.
I see.